Hello and thank you for listening to the Otaku in Japan podcast, and welcome to the second episode of What the Fuck Japan. And if you are a return listener, you have been conned, haha, and I am sorry. If you are a new listener, welcome, and I hope you enjoy your auditory stay. Now, this episode may make it sound like I'm ragging on Japan a little bit, and it may let off the impression that I don't like Japan, which is obviously not true in the slightest. I love living here. I have always been treated very well. Everyone has always been very friendly to me. My wife's entire family has embraced me with very open arms, where I thought, to be honest, before the first time that I went to meet them, that I was going to get my motherfucking head cut off by a katana. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, today's topic is Hafu. So let's begin! So, if you have never been to or lived in Japan, and you live in a weeaboo bubble filled with all the glitz and glamour Japan offers to its excited foreign travellers, you may not be aware or have not seen firsthand the xenophobia, which is very prominent even today within Japan, albeit more so among the older generations than the younger. Now, obviously, every country is pretty much inherently racist. Argue if you want, but it's true. Australians are still by and large racist towards Aboriginal inhabitants. American police officers only seem to know how to shoot black people for, well, being black, I guess. But I digress. I'm not qualified to comment and don't want to ruffle the many feathers or white cloaks the KKK may have. So, it may come as a surprise to those not well versed in Japanese culture, this strange phenomenon known as Hafu or Dabaru, because apparently Dabaru is less xenophobic for some reason. So what the fuck is Hafu? Hafu refers to children born of international marriages, where one parent is Japanese and the other is from the mysterious land known as Gaikoku. Now, what makes this a what the fuck Japan concept is how these children are cheated, not just by other children, but by the entire system of Japan. Now, you probably guessed that these poor kids tend to get bullied for their heritage, especially when it's very obvious, such as black skin or ginger hair. Ariana Miyamoto, Miss Universe Japan 2015, is one of many famous Japanese Hafu citizens who has spoken out about the trouble they faced growing up. She speaks of actually quite a tragic tale, of one of her friends who actually killed themselves when they were 16 because of the bullying they faced for being a Hafu child. Now, unfortunately, as a teacher, I have actually seen this bullying firsthand quite a few times, and it really sucks to see. But kids will be mean, right? I mean, all kids are inherently wankers. The part of their brain that inhibits them being a wanker and strengthens the need to literally be a wanker, tug, hasn't fully formed yet. So when I was a kid, I was a wanker, you were probably a wanker, and you probably still think I am a wanker, and you probably still are a wanker. We're all wankers. So, kids are kids. Now, for the kids to be wankers is not enough. The government also needs to chime in, because Hafu are never really seen by the many Japanese people that inhabit this country as actual Japanese people. No matter how Japanese they are in their mannerisms, personality, or pretty much anything. Fluent Japanese, been here since they were born, went to Japanese schools, were members of Japanese clubs, forever chasing their tail, where the tail is their Japanese nationality. And it doesn't stop there. You see, because Hafu children have to literally choose a nationality and discard the other one before they turn 22. That means that when I have children, my child will have to choose if he or she is either Japanese or Australian, and then discard the other, as if being of two nationalities is such a horrible thing. And the reasons given are pretty much fucking ridiculous. Well, what if they do something that's okay by one parent's country's law, but not okay by the others? For example, and this is an exercise in taking something small and making it super extreme, so fair warning. But based on anime, the porn section of Tsutaya, and the fact that having a stash of child pornography only became illegal in Japan several years ago, I have a sneaking suspicion that Japan is a little more lax on would-be pedophiles than other countries' governments. So the issue then becomes, what happens to a child who grows up to be the level of sex pest which is okay in one country and not in the next? Now, in its most ridiculous sense, maybe that makes sense. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that for the majority of people, this excuse is simply a reason to strip Hafus of their other nationality. The problem, even when they do that, they are still going to be seen as Hafus. Nothing's changed. The child loses their connection to one country and doesn't really have the connection to the other, and they gain nothing. The child loses out at no fault of their own. Now, thankfully, Japan is slowly getting better with the whole opening their borders and minds to foreigners thing. I mean, it's only been 163 years since Commodore Perry arrived in Japan, so we can't expect the Japanese to embrace us Gaijins all in one go. But they are getting better, and for the most part, they're pretty much perfect towards us. So this is not a hate thing. This is just it's a little bit fucked up that Hafu was seen as so different. But like I said at the start, let's be honest, everyone is a cunt. So, thank you for listening to the second episode, and if you see a Hafu, a person of colour, a transgender or homosexual person, a vegan, a meat eater, or anyone, just remember that underneath we are all the same disgusting mess of fleshy, squishy organs, molecules bound by properties of physics I'm too fucking stupid to understand, and that really, we are all basically the exact same fucking person replicated 6 billion times with either a penis or a dick or a vagina or whatever, I don't know, but we're all pretty much the same. So basically get the fuck over yourself and love each other equally. I've been your host, and until next time.